Khaled Elgindy joins us now from Washington, D.C. He's a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute. Good to have you on the show, sir. So the general aim is to unify the participants' positions on the Palestinian issue ahead of New York, ahead of the General Assembly. Where do they differ?
Well, I mean, I think it's in a lot of ways, it's mainly designed for political optics. Both Jordan and Egypt are the two most important countries for the Palestinian leadership. They're countries that have longstanding relations with Israel. They have a direct border with both Israel and Palestinian territory. So this is really, I think, a way to support the Palestinian leadership, which is facing unprecedented domestic unrest and dissatisfaction, and is under quite a bit of pressure. But it's also a way to put the political process, which has been dead for many, many years, back onto the international agenda, which is also a way to support this leadership in Ramallah, which has really staked its entire existence on the goal of a two-state solution.
How to tell me this? I mean, if this is all about optics, why wasn't Israel at the summit?
Well, there are lots of reasons why. I mean, I've read reports that they had considered inviting the Israeli prime minister. I mean, I think for obvious reasons, the Israeli prime minister is not interested in supporting a two-state solution. He said that quite explicitly. He's opposed to a two-state solution. So it would be rather odd to have a summit that is designed to signal support for a two-state solution and invite the Israeli prime minister, who actively and rhetorically opposes that goal. So, you know, and Prime Minister Bennett also has an interest in, for his domestic political purposes, in not making any political gestures towards the Palestinians because of his strong opposition to Palestinian statehood.
Okay. How much pressure do you think can be put on the Biden administration in terms of them fulfilling their promises to preserve a two-state solution?
I think probably the Biden administration is one of the main audiences, the target audiences for this summit that is being held, this three-way summit. I think it is intended to show the president that the region and Arab states, and key Arab states in particular, are unhappy with putting off progress towards two states. But I think it will have very little effect on the thinking in Washington. The Biden administration has its hands full with any number of foreign policy priorities, in addition to quite a full agenda on domestic policy. The Palestinian issue is very low on the list of priorities. And so as long as things remain relatively quiet, and that is mainly in Israeli terms, as long as Israelis feel generally secure and there is calm for Israelis, then there isn't really an interest in sort of disrupting the status quo here in Washington.
Okay, Khaled Elgindy, live for us in Washington. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate your analysis.